Welcome to Book Banter with me, your host, Dianne Burckhardt. I hope you will join me every Wednesday as we explore all things to do with, well, books. Let's get on with our show today. Hello, my happy people, and welcome to our holiday hiatus episodes. These are the special episodes that are being broadcast between our third and fourth podcast season. Now, normally, in between our seasons, what we like to do is to just replay the best of episodes from the previous season as we get ready to start up the next one. But this year, we made our first trip to the Frankfurter Buchmesse in Frankfurt, Germany, which happens to be the largest publishing convention in the world. And we spoke to some fantastic people there and decided that instead of playing our best of episodes this year, we were going to share those interviews from the floor of the convention with all of you during that time. So for the next couple of weeks, from December 18th until January 29th of 2025, you will be hearing our special Frankfurter Buchmesse interviews during our holiday hiatus. And then, of course, Season 4 of Book Banter with Dianne Burckhardt, your book talk podcast, will start up again with new interviews on Wednesday, February 5th. But until then, let's get into today's interviews. I hope you like everything that we're bringing you over our hiatus, and be sure to come back for Season 4. Our first interview today, we are speaking with Joe Matthews from Independent Publishers Group. We are back live with another guest from the Frankfurt Buchmesse. We're talking to a representative of the Independent Publishers Group. Can you please tell us who you are and what your company does?
Independent Publishers Group is a 52-year-old family business. I'm the second generation owner and CEO. We were the first company in North America founded around the idea of an alliance of small publishers together acting like one big publisher. And that's still why we exist today.
That's amazing. So now, how can people find you?
We are very much a B2B company. We can only work with people that have a tax ID number. And our requirements for distribution are that you have an ongoing publishing program. So I'm here at Frankfurt trying to find publishers that want to have North American sales, marketing, and warehousing distribution services. We're selective about who we sign because our reputation with buyers is based on the quality of our list. And we're a traditional full service, what would be called a master distributor, in that we are the exclusive sales and marketing for the publishers we represent. And the idea is you make beautiful art and content and work with authors and do the publicity and consumer marketing, and you hire us to be your back office, warehouse, sales team, and the B2B marketing.
That's fantastic. That's usually the part that most people have no idea what to do.
If you search for book distribution, we're in the top first page of Google results for North American book distribution. But the landscape of distribution is that 20 years ago, there were 10 or so companies like IPG. And now we are the last independent distributor of scale in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
It's this trend of mergers and acquisitions, and basically Ingram, the number one wholesaler in North America for independent bookshops, bought our competitors and now competes with us on publisher services, but they are our number one customer for wholesale sales.
That's interesting.
So we have co-opetition in our industry, just like when our dear friends at Amazon decided to offer publisher services and really stressed out the whole industry. Though to this day, Barnes & Noble buyers are forbidden from purchasing from Amazon Publishing.
Wow.
So there's disadvantages of going with Amazon if you want to leave their ecosystem.
Yeah.
Though within their ecosystem, you can be very successful. Problem is their ecosystem only captures something like 60% of the market. Less for nonfiction, more for some genre fiction. But that's why we exist, is because some small presses grow up in the Amazon world, and one day they say, how do I get my books in Barnes & Noble? And they go to Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble looks at their list and says, I'd buy this, but I can't buy from you. You need to work with a distributor. And they give you a letter, and the letter lists 3 or 4 different distributors, and IPG is one of them.
That's amazing.
So now the distribution landscape is the big 5 offer distribution services. A lot of them do. Hachette, Penguin Random House, Simon & Schuster. They offer distribution for small presses, but you're going to be a very little fish in a very big sea. Then there's and then there's Ingram with professional services, publisher services. Then there's a huge gap to IPG at around 100 million in gross sales, and then another huge gap and the very small distributors. So my argument to publishers is the cultural fit is going to might be right for you at IPG. And I make the Goldilocks argument, which is that we're not too big and we're not too small. At IPG, the porridge is just right.
I like that. Now, how beneficial has it been for you and your projections, everything, for coming to the Frankfurt Buchmesse? How beneficial is networking that you've been able to do here?
This is a relationship business. There's a reason why you've never heard of us, because we're word of mouth. If you're a book publisher and you're publishing 15, 20, 50, 100 books a year, maybe you have a staff of 8, 10, 20 people, you know us. Mm-hmm. But if you're an author or an agent or a very small publisher or a self-publisher, then you don't know us, but you'll learn about us as you get bigger. Because it's a relationship business, there's no way to market it, and it's a niche business. Marketing our service is difficult. So wherever in the world there's a room full of book publishers, I need to be there. So the one way we market is with our stand and at the cocktail bar and dinners. And I don't know if you've noticed the same thing, but I can work with somebody for a couple of years through Zoom meetings. Mm-hmm. And when I meet them in person, the relationship instantly changes and it feels so much more intimate and close. Yeah. And there's a lot of trust required. In a lot of ways, distributors like us act like a bank. Mm-hmm. Because we're holding all your assets and intellectual property in our warehouse-like vault, mm-hmm. and then we're collecting all the money from the accounts, and we're paying it all out to you, except for our little nickel that we keep for ourselves as the intermediary in the supply chain of books.
Do you have, what's coming up next for you? Do you have anything that you're going to be looking at? I mean, I know there's so much AI technology information that's out there, and people are questioning about whether or not it should be coming into publishing and how it should be coming into publishing. Where are you moving next?
Frankly, I'm so tired of the AI conversation. If I hear another guest speaker at a conference talk about AI, I'm going to throw up. We're doing some interesting things around direct-to-consumer marketing, because publishers want to have good websites. Yeah. But it's going to make sense to have their distributors set up at least the pick, pack, and ship piece, because no one wants to be shipping books out of their garage and taking them to the UPS store. And it can be really tricky when you want to have a shopping cart that can also sell the ebooks. Mm-hmm. So I have an interesting partnership now with VitalSource to be my consumer direct ebook partner. It's because more than 4 million American consumers already have the VitalSource app installed on their phone. Mm-hmm. Because universities now have their students all getting their textbooks that way. Yeah. It's a really nice platform. It looks and feels like a Kindle type app. They're good people, and they're letting me finally have a direct-to-consumer ebook model that's modern. My old direct-to-consumer ebook model used Adobe Content Server, which forced the reader to install Adobe Digital Editions, and we realized that from checkout to reading the book was a 9-click experience. So now we'll have a QR code that you scan with your phone, and you're reading the book.
That's nice.
And that'll be nice. So that's just one example of how we try to add value to our service. As an alliance of publishers, we can negotiate volume deals. We can invest in expensive technology. Really, that's the moat around us, and why publishers, unless they're doing maybe 40 or 50 million in sales, they're going to need to work with a distributor because of scale, access, and technology. We have these expensive technology computer systems to bring in all these electronic orders overnight. The Amazon order rolls in through EDI. 70% of all of our orders, Books A Million, Chapters Indigo in Canada, Costco, ReaderLink, they're all purchasing through EDI systems because no one has time to key an order into a computer. Mm-hmm. And that technology is expensive and difficult to maintain. The access is our ability to have meetings with buyers, like sitting down at a table with Barnes & Noble buyers. We go see them 4 times a year, and we sell in our front list. And then the scale is the ability to fill up full trucks and load a full box. No bookstore wants to pay the freight for one book in a box. Yeah. It's a $7 item with a $7 freight tag. Yeah. But they want a full box with 25 books in it. So if all of our publishers can be in one box, then we have the scale. And that's why we exist.
So now, if there is somebody who wants to partner with you, where can they find you?
IPGbook.com is a great place to look for us. But also at the next greatest trade show, we're very involved with publisher associations like PubWest, IBPA, ECPA, which is the Evangelical Christians, PCPA, which is the Protestants. We're at all the gift fairs. We're at ALA, Texas Library Association. We're at Winter Institute and all the regional shows.
I know there's one coming up in Leipzig too in the spring.
The only global shows that we're really focused on the services piece are Frankfurt, Bologna, and London Book Fair.
Okay.
Though we also go to Guadalajara for our Spanish language market books. We're one of the largest distributors of Spanish language in the U.S. And the Liber Fair, which switches between Barcelona and Buenos Aires.
Okay.
And so our sales teams go to book selling shows, but I go where the publishers are.
Thank you. This has been absolutely amazing.
My pleasure.
Next up, we have Django Degree, founder of Wrote by Me. We're back at the Frankfurt Buchmesse with another fantastic interview for you with somebody representing Wrote by Me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Django Degree, and I am an author and a founder of Wrote by Me.
And what does this company do?
So we help authors and publishers sell more books by giving them free websites, because we know that there's typically not a lot of money to spend, and we want to make it as easy as possible for you to use our website to sell more books directly to consumers.
Look, I know for myself personally, I have redone my website again and again and again because I'm just never quite happy with how it looks. I always try to improve it. It is so hard for somebody who is not tech savvy to really get a good professional website. So somebody who can help do that would be amazing.
Yeah, so what's interesting is like, for instance, I have a separate website from my Wrote by Me. Wrote by Me is what you call like a link aggregator. So we give you one link where you can sell all your books, have everything about you, your social media and everything else. And it's so simple that you can only love it once you're done, because it's absolutely perfect. And then you're able to just sell more books. And that's our goal.
So now what kind of books do you write?
I wrote a book called I Hope You Wake Up, and it was my antithesis to personal development. It was all the books I had ever read said, "Are you sad? Well, here's the fix." And I was like, what if I'm sad and I just ask questions of people? And then the questions that I asked myself, I offered to people in the book, and it's been really nice. Like, people have really loved it. So it's just all about helping people wake up to maybe what life could be like if you asked a few questions.
I really like that, because I know one of the things we've really been focusing on this year on our podcast has been mental health and how to achieve better mental health, and that people do not need to be ashamed about being depressed, that it's something that every human being feels at some point in their life, and that we need to start talking about it more.
I agree. You know, what's really interesting is there's one of the thoughts in my book, the last thing I say, and a couple of people have said that they loved it, was I said, before I was enlightened, I was depressed. And after I was enlightened, I'm still depressed. And it's not to say like depression is wrong or anything. It's to say that like sometimes we think things will be fixed when I'm not depressed anymore. But now it's okay that sometimes I have that happen. And I can be more accepting of it. And that's just what I really hope for people, to be more accepting of how beautiful life can be, even in the downs. Because what would the ups be without a down? It would just can't go up forever, you know?
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. That's one of the things I've always said to people, that I think my depressed times makes me appreciate the up times even more. But the thing is, whenever you're in your depressed time, is you have to keep focusing on the fact that that is not a permanent state of being. You just have to keep going. My favorite quote has always been Winston Churchill: when you're going through hell, keep going.
100%.
And that's all you have to do, is just keep going to the next part.
Yeah. Sometimes we can feel like life is so concrete and this is it, but it's only it when we're not here anymore. As long as you're alive, there's still that opportunity.
Absolutely.
To be more. So
now where can people find your book?
So if you go to my Wrote by Me page, so it's wroteby.me/Django, DJANGO. So I'll make sure to give it to you so that you can pass it out. But I don't even tell people my Instagram or my TikTok or anything else. You just go to wroteby.me/Django, and all my stuff is right there.
And there will be a live link to your website in our description of the podcast when these broadcast.
Oh, sensational. Okay. Well, then, yeah, everyone will be able to find me. I hope to be able to connect.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
So there you have it, folks. Some great interviews on the floor of the Frankfurter Buchmesse, the world's largest publishing convention in the world, from Frankfurt, Germany. If you're interested in this, please check out their own website. You can find the description in the bottom of today's podcast. And there's also links to the people that we have talked to today. And in every episode, we'll make sure that you have live links so that you can go find out more about these interesting people that we got to meet in person. So now until next week, we hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, and we look forward to hearing from you again in season 4. So you know what time it is, folks. It's time for you all to go forth and be really happy that season 4 is coming soon.